Hello, friends. Welcome to my shed. How are you? Happy anniversary. If you're not aware, Saturday was the 10-year anniversary of The Daily Shed, of me doing this thing on YouTube 5 days a week for the last 10 years. And I was hoping to put together some sort of montage or have some look back episode or something like that, but with everything in my life right now, I don't have the energy. So you're just going to get more of this. But hey, I changed the camera angle for today so we could talk about the actual shed, and we can talk about why the shed. I know that some of you were here way back when, at the beginning, but a lot of you have come along in years since and are not aware of kind of the origins of this whole thing. So I thought I would just start there. Back in the winter of 2015, 2016, I started making videos in the shop. So this isn't really a shed, if that's not apparent. This is a one-car garage. It's about 24 feet by 12 feet, something like that. And back then, I had this workbench, I had this bandsaw, I had this miter saw, and I had a few hand tools hanging on the wall. That's about it. And I noticed that I had a video that had millions of views. It was a video I put out in 2012 about a time capsule. It had millions of views, and this channel already had 10,000 subscribers. And I was like, well, why don't I leverage that and try to make something out of it? That was kind of the impetus. The inspiration came from things like Good Mythical Morning, the vlogs of that era, like Casey Neistat and Sean Duras, a radio show called Lex and Terry. It was a syndicated radio show, and late night. Since I was a kid, I always wanted to be David Letterman. I thought that would be the coolest job in the world. So those are my inspirations, but it was also family was an inspiration. At that time, my marriage was in shambles. It was falling apart quickly, and I felt like I didn't have a whole lot of time with my kids, and at some point they're going to want to know what Dad's up to. And so I started kind of putting this idea together that I could do this show every day and I could record my thoughts on things. Middle-aged dad, middle of nowhere, West Virginia. Let's put some thoughts down so that my kids can always reference that. And it happened in here because this was the best place in the house. I walked through the shop every day at that time. I wasn't using the front door. I was using the garage door. So I came through here every single day, and I thought, if I'm going to be in here, I'll just turn the camera on. And back then, we had a table. It wasn't this table. It was a 3-foot by 3-foot table. It was about this high. Took up a huge area here, and I just set like a pocket camera on the table and sat opposite and talked about whatever. Actually, I think I stood at that time. I didn't sit. None of this was back here. I didn't have any of these tools or cabinets or anything that I built. We didn't have sound deadening material. I didn't have bass traps. I didn't have any of this stuff. And I just turned the overhead light on and recorded, and that was it. As time went on, we upgraded. I added these directional lights to kind of light my face. I added a hair light to separate me from the background. Again, I added the sound deadening material, and all of these tools and things just kind of slowly filled up the space. And it became a little bit more professional. As professional as it can be for a 10-minute talk show that's unedited. That's a big part of this show, by the way, is that I don't edit. It's not because I don't want to. I think that if I were to edit these videos and cut out bits and pieces and kind of make it a little bit more interesting, I would probably have more views. But at this point, at 10 years, I don't care about the views. I care about the doing of the thing. And sometimes to show up, for me, it takes the least friction possible. And that's what we've achieved here. I have a table that stays here. I have a microphone that stays on the table. I have lights in place. I have a camera tripod. You usually sit like right here. And I know that if I walk in the door and I set the camera on the tripod and I set the focus with my little friend here, this is my focus friend, I'm ready to go. I press record and I talk for 10 minutes and then I walk off. It takes 10 minutes and 30 seconds out of my day. And if it wasn't for that, if there was like if I had to be in here setting everything up every day, it would have just never happened. And so that's why we're in here. It's my space. Nobody else comes in here. I can set it up how I want it. I can use it how I want it, and it's just ready to go. And I need that for this thing to have existed. And the reason is because it doesn't. It's not a profitable venture, right? In the beginning, I thought, well, I have the opportunity with these 10,000 subscribers. I can turn this into something, and I thought I was going to go for it. That was my plan. I'm going to go for it, and I'm going to try to get the 100,000 subscribers or whatever it takes to start to become really financially solvent on this platform. And I went for it. The early days of this show were topically oriented. I tried to have call-ins. People would call in and leave questions that I could answer. I tried to have community sharing, like, you show me what you're working on and we'll talk about it. And that went for a little while, but it lost steam within like less than 3 months, 4 months, and it had already run its course. It was already obvious that the content that I was making was not content that was going to be interesting to a larger audience. I was going to have to find my people. And so I just kept doing it. I just kept doing it because I realized that finding my people was more important than financial solvency. So we just did it. We just kept doing it. And I discovered, as I found more people here and there, 1 or 2 people would pop up, that they really liked these, like, let's just sit down and chat like we're friends. And so that's what I just kept doing. I abandoned the whole topic thing. I abandoned the whole call-in thing. I just said, I'm just going to sit down and talk about something. It might just be how I'm feeling today. It might be something I experienced. It might be something that somebody told me, whatever. We're just talking about whatever. And people resonated with that. And so while the show has never become a financial success, it's never brought me fame, it has brought me a lot of really good friends. And I think that's the most important thing. I call you friends because you're my friends. And I didn't want to be the hello guys, like that was every YouTuber ever. I didn't want to be that guy. So I chose the word friends because it had true meaning to me. And if I'm being 100% honest, I'm really glad the show never succeeded. I'm glad it didn't take off, because I think what's important for me doing this, looking back over these 10 years, reflecting on these 10 years, what's important for me is the growth that I have gone through personally. And a lot of that is driven directly by this daily conversation. It gives me moments to reflect on myself. It gives me moments to reflect on my relationships. It gives me moments to reflect on the world at large. And I think that's a really important thing. And so while that it's entirely possible that still could have happened with a larger audience and, gaining the traction that I was hoping to gain, I think if that would have happened, I would have just been like, well, I can just tuck all this stuff aside because I'm obviously, brilliant, or I'm obviously famous, and I don't need to worry about, all this nonsense, like this fixing myself, right? So I'm really glad. I'm really glad that I found my people, and I'm really crazy thankful for the 30 to 50 of you that check in regularly. You're my people and you're my friends, and I really mean that because it's 100% true. 10 years of doing this 5 days a week is a bit bonkers for most people. I would say that most people, had they not got the traction, would have just given up, because at some point you're just patting yourself on the back, or you're just whatever. And I think that if I hadn't found those initial people, those people that have been here since the beginning, I probably would have given up. And I've talked about giving up many, many times. But now that we're here, 10 years, I'm doing this every day religiously, I don't see it stopping. There's no reason to. I'm obviously not doing this for money. If anything, this show probably loses me money. By the time I factor in electricity and equipment costs and all that stuff, the $100 I make a year is not worth it. I'm probably losing that money, or losing more than that. So I do it because it's important. It's important to me, and it's been important to quite a few people. And I'm thinking still that it might be important to my kids someday. they might be able to come back to this and reflect on Dad's thoughts. What did Dad think about this? Well, here we go. You know, my dad passed last Monday. It's been a week since my father passed. And I don't have, 10 years of my dad's thoughts. I would love to. I would love to have all of his thoughts and stories over, his lifetime recorded, but I don't have that. My kids will have that. And I think that's kind of special. I don't know. Will it be? I have no idea. It doesn't matter if it is or not. I'm not doing this so that I leave a legacy for my children or whatever, but I think it's kind of cool. I don't know that they do. I don't think they care, but they do watch every now and then. I'll hear when I'm sitting upstairs and they're on the couch watching TikToks. So I know they watch sometimes. I know you watch sometimes, and that's all I can really ask. People tell me I don't watch every show. Like, no, who would? There's I can count on this hand the people that watch every single episode, because I know they leave me comments, they text me, they email me. Here's the number of people that watch every single episode. I don't expect anybody to, but I'm extremely thankful for everybody who does. So it's been a great ride. You guys have kind of supplied me with a lot of this stuff. Literally, this table saw that you can barely see right here was bought by a bunch of you donating to the cause to buy this table saw. This back wall, this is all stuff that has been sent in. Stickers and artwork and awards and a banner from San Diego. It's all stuff you guys have sent me. I hang it up back there. You can probably see the postcard wall back here. I used to advertise a postcard exchange. I made Daily Shed postcards and I would send those out. I'll still do that. The post office box, my P.O. box is in every description of every video. You can send me a postcard. I don't check it that often, but when I check it and I get your postcard, I'll send you a postcard back. I've responded to all of those people. There's so much stuff in here that when I come in and I sit down, and whether I'm talking to a camera or whether I'm working on a project, I'm surrounded by love. I'm surrounded by calm. I'm surrounded by joy. I'm surrounded by thoughts and emotions that I don't experience in other areas of my house, in other areas of my life. And I think that's a really powerful thing. So I have all of you to thank for that. I have all of you to thank for helping me keep this thing alive. And I want to keep going. So stick around. Come back. Watch more videos. I don't know. Give me ideas for videos you want to see. I was really hoping to do something special today. I mean, at least I got you a different angle, and I'm talking into a kick drum mic. This is a Shure SM57. This is not made for vocals, but whatever, it'll work. So yeah, thank you for being here. As always, please leave a like on this video. Please leave a comment. Just say hi. You don't have to say congratulations or whatever. You can if you want to, obviously, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm not here for the pats on the back. I'm here for the real human connection, and I can thank all of you for providing me that over the last 10 years. It means the world to me. Thank you. Please come back tomorrow. See me again. Say hi, and we'll just keep this thing going for as long as I can do it. Who knows? Who knows how long that'll be? I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's 1,000 plus little things happy, successful people do differently. What are we learning? I've already forgotten. 14 rules for being you. Number 7, love you. Let someone love you just the way you are. As flawed as you might be, as unattractive as you sometimes feel, and as unaccomplished as you think you are. Yes, let someone love you despite all of this, and let that someone be you. Damn. I have no notes. That's perfect. Love yourself. I'm still trying.